Hello, everybody. Welcome to trivia for those who are here. Let me fix that now. There we there we go. That works. Hello, everybody who's here. I see JJ's here. I saw JJ in the chat, and that reminded me to turn on the live chat. So the live chat is already on. My kitten, as you know, is insane. He's like really wild and feral right now. So he's just been crying outside my door. I'm not letting him in because he's bonkers. Plus, my whole family is home right now, so you would hear them walking around and talking if I had the door open. So sorry, kitten. Hello, DR. Welcome. We'll wait a couple minutes for a crowd to arrive. How is everyone doing? My brother in law and I just finished watching One Piece, the live action show. It was really, really great. I have very minimal knowledge, like basic knowledge of the One Piece anime, and it's my brother in law's favorite anime. So we both really, really enjoyed it. The cat is crying because it can't beat me to the answer, says DR. Well, that is true. He's a very stupid cat. He's very sweet, though. Um, but yeah, I think he's calmed down. Like there's people here to entertain him. He'll figure out what to do without me. But yeah. Live chat is on, JJ. Yes, I saw you had posted before the live started, and I was like, oh, that reminds me. I should turn on the live chat. Smola's here, came to be beaten by DR. We'll see. Today is history. And then if we have time left over, I'll go back into the book we were playing in on Saturday and do some geography. But that's if we have any extra time. I don't know. I'm trying to make this around 2 hours now because it really seems after the 2 hour mark on Wednesdays, the crowd drops off, which is understandable. It's very late at night for some people. So I'm trying to make these lives about 2 hours long. I figure that's a good amount of time. Anyway, I think we should get into it. Let me move this a little more so you can see more of me. That's better. Okay. So here's what we did for this week. If you're a channel member, you already know. I went on my community tab just for my channel members. You can click the join button down below or the link in the description box. Good day, Dr. Pickle. To be a part of the channel members and get it on little secrets like today. I asked my channel members to pick a year, either the year they were born or a year that's important to them, and try to keep it within like the 19th century to present. Hello, Alex. I was just about to talk about you. So my channel members sent me a bunch of years. So I've made up to 15 questions each per year about things that happened in that year. And I figured we would start with Alex because Alex is way over in East Europe where it's late at night and Alex can't stay very long. So I thought let's start with Alex's year. So Alex picked the year 2004. So here are 15 questions about things that happened in 2004, Alex's birth year. Sigrether's here as well to get up super early tomorrow, so not joining. Oh, okay. It's good to see you, though. Thanks for stopping by. Skinny Legend is here, so I'm going to be watching it back. Gotta go to sleep. Have a good sleep, Skinny Legend. So, number 1. South Korea started a games festival centered around what? South Korea started a games festival, which apparently has repeated every year since 2004, centered around what? What are these games based around? I don't know what that is, Alex. Not Pokemon, and not a video game. Esports, it's not esports. It is a games festival, but not about video games. So not Pokemon, not any esports. South Korea started a games festival centered around what? What kind of things were these games played with or played by? What could it be? I think it is South Korea. Very little about the year 2004, says JJ. Not cards, DR. Great guess, but not cards. I think it's South Korea in 2004. The dogs are here. Our new downstairs neighbor has a very sweet, sweet dog, but that thing can bark like nobody's business. It's not chess. It's not. The Games Festival is not around one game. It's multiple games that are played with or played by a certain thing. What could that thing be? I like these kinds of questions. Not board games, not rackets. And remember, your clue is that it's in South Korea in the early 2000s. So, what would people in Korea be interested in? Skinny Legend is close with AI. That's very close, Skinny Legend. So, it's not soccer. Not K-pop games. Good guess, Smolla. K-pop was just starting to explode. Not skiing. Kilobretta. Hello, Harry Potter. Good to see you. Alex has got it. It is robots. Good job to Alex for getting it first, because now all the robots are trickling in. Alex got the first question of the day. It is robots. It's a robotic gaming festival. The rest are a little easier. Number 2, who won Russia's presidential election on March 14th, 2004? It's a small maze solving robots, probably. DR's got it first. It is Putin. Good job to DR. The answer is Vladimir Putin. Told you they'd be easier. Number 3, Israel won a gold medal in the 2004 Olympic Games. In what sport? Israel won a gold medal in the 2004 Olympic Games. In what sport? Not swimming, but that's very close. Hello, young guy. Not discus, not gymnastics. You got to go past the Russians and the Americans if you want to get a gold in gymnastics. Not diving. Some of you are very close. It does involve water. I'll give you that. It is some type of watery kind of sport. Killa Beretta was born in 2004 too. Wow. Drowning DR. It'd be nice. Not sailing. I don't think sailing is an Olympic sport. Not water polo either. I don't think sailing is an Olympic sport, is it? I don't think so. Israel won a gold medal in what sport in 2004? Not rowing, not kayaks, not synchronized swimming. I love synchronized swimming. It's so fun to watch. I can't sink. I'm very buoyant. I'm a floaty person. I can't dive. I rise right back up. So I'm very fascinated by synchronized swimming, how they can just go under and stay. I cannot do that. I bob to the top. Not rowing, not jet skiing. Jet skiing's not a sport. Not surfing. I don't think surfing was a sport in 2004. But you're not far off, JJ. I should say it's not surfing on a surfboard. Oh, hello, M-Step. It's not diving. Not canoeing, not beach volleyball. It's not surfing on a surfboard. Parasailing. You know what, DR? I'm going to give you that. It's windsurfing. So parasailing's kind of the same. Close enough. So I'll give that to DR. It is windsurfing was the sport that they got a gold medal in. Number 4. What colorful name did protests in Ukraine go by? What colorful name did protests in Ukraine go by? I think it was a protest against the elections. DR knows it's the Orange Revolution. Good job to DR, who knew it right away. It was the Orange Revolution. Good job, DR. Number 5. Oh, hello. Veer's here having a quick hello. Good night, good morning, and day, people. Thank you, Veer. Have a good night for you. Thanks for stopping by. Number 5, which Spanish city suffered an Islamist terrorist attack in 2004? That's all I can say without any kind of demonetization. And DR knows it was Madrid. Very sadly, the Madrid train system was attacked. But good job to DR for knowing that it was Madrid. Number 6, what did the Czech military abolish in 2004? What did the Czech, as in Czechia, Czech Republic, what did their military abolish in 2004? Standing army. I wouldn't quite call it that. No. I mean, you're on the right track, DR, but I wouldn't call it standing army. Kila Beretta's got it. It's conscription or mandatory service. Good job to Kila Beretta. It is military conscription was what they abolished. Mandatory service in the military. No longer exists in Czechia. Number 7. Speaking of abolishing things, what did France ban from schools starting in 2004? And don't get specific, because it's a lot of things, but under one category. The burqa would have been one of them. Kila Beretta is from the Czech Republic. I didn't know that. I assumed you were some kind of Polish or somewhere around there, but nope, you're a little more Central Europe. That's cool to know. I'm going to give that to Alex. It is religious symbols, mainly centered around burqas and hijabs, but any kind of religious clothing item they banned. So good job to Alex for getting it first. Religious symbols is actually exactly what I wrote, religious symbols. Number 8, which city hosted the 2004 Olympics? Which city hosted the 2004 Olympic Games? And Sleep's trying to sleep and answer questions. Well, my goal is accomplished. Saku has got it first. It is Athens. M-Step's also in Czechia. How fun. Ahoy to all of you in the Czech Republic. But Saku got this one first. It is Athens. Good job to Saku. The answer is Athens. Athens hosted the Olympics in 2004. Number 9. Ethnic violence resulting in many deaths and destruction of Serbian Orthodox churches occurred in what region? Thank you, Josh. So violence and destruction of Serbian Orthodox churches occurred in what region? I'm not sure what that is, DR. You might be getting too specific. I'm going to give that to Alex. It is Kosovo. Good job to Alex for getting it first. Just looking for Kosovo. Just Kosovo. Number 10. What natural disaster struck Southeast Asia on December 26th, 2004? Okay, that's part of Bosnia. So yeah, it was not Bosnia, it was Kosovo. And DR's got it first. It was a tsunami. It was an earthquake and a tsunami, or Smola said, big water. Yes, it was a very devastating tsunami, the Boxing Day tsunami. Good job to TR for getting it first. Number 11, which country sang in Catalan at Eurovision in 2004? Which country sang in Catalan at Eurovision in 2004? It was not Spain. You fell for it, DR. Oh, but DR's got it. It was Andorra. Good job to DR for getting it first. It was Andorra. Good job, DR. You fell for the trick and then realized. There's only 2 countries that speak Catalan. So, number 12. Norodom Siamoni was crowned king of what country? Norodom Siamoni was crowned king of which country in 2004? Weirdly enough, like the years that I was given by the channel members, there are lots of coronations in those years specifically. So a lot of these kind of questions are about kings. DR has got it first. It was Cambodia. Good job to DR. The answer is Cambodia. I'm pretty sure they don't have kings in Laos. It's a communist country, but yeah, definitely Cambodia. Yeah, it was Cambodia. Number 13. Which country in 2004 joined the Dutch Language Union? Oh, they had a prince in the government of Communist Laos, but like a crown prince, though, or just like a descendant of royalty? DR's got it. It is Suriname. Good job to DR for getting it first. It was Suriname. Turns out there are only three countries in the Dutch language union, the Netherlands, Belgium, and Suriname. Number 14. Sheikh Zayed bin Sultan Al Nahyan passed away in 2004. He was the first president of which country? I feel like I've said that name so many times on this channel covering the Arabian Peninsula. Alex got it first. It was the UAE. Good job to Alex for getting it. It was the United Arab Emirates. The Al Nahyan family rules the Emirates. And number 15, last question in Alex's 2004 category. Jazeera Airways opened the first private airline of which country? As you can tell, I try to make it global facts. Not true for every year, but for most of them I did. Not Qatar. Good guess. I think they just have Qatar Airways, right? But it's not a private airline. Jazeera Airways, the first private airline of which country? Let's see. Not Saudi Arabia, not Bahrain, not Turkey. I guess, you guess Qatar because that's where the Al Jazeera television station is. And Alex has got it. It is Kuwait. Good job to Alex for getting it. The answer is Kuwait. All right. Thank you, Alex, for the year suggestion. The next year was suggested by Cody. And Cody picked the year 1991. Yeah, exactly, DR. You just know that Jazeera, it's an Arabic country. So here are 15 questions about the year 1991. Number 1, which organization did South Korea join in 1991? Which organization did South Korea join in 1991? And I have to phrase that in a way to not give it away, but O.S. Walker got it first. It was the United Nations. I should have said South Korea and North Korea both joined in 1991, but I figured that would have given you too much of a hint. So I just put South Korea. South Korea joined the United Nations in 1991. Number 2, who was elected the first president of Russia in 1991? Who was elected the first president of Russia in 1991? And DR got it first. It was Boris Yeltsin. Good job to DR. The answer is Boris Yeltsin. Russia's first elected president in its entire history was Boris Yeltsin. Number 3, why is August 24th an important day in Ukraine? Why is August 24th an important day in Ukraine? What's special about that day? And DR's got it. That is their Independence Day. Good job to DR. Ukraine celebrates their Independence Day every August 24th because August 24th, 1991 was the day they became independent. Number 4, what was discovered in a glacier in South Tyrol, Italy? Hey, Janice. And Bela, the cat in Budapest. Welcome. And DR's got it. It was Otzi the Iceman. Good job to DR for remembering his name. It was Otzi the Iceman. He actually was not a skeleton, Alex. He's got all his skin and hair and clothes. He's very well preserved. Even what was in his stomach, we know his last meal and everything. He was completely frozen over. Really, really amazing find. Tyrol, Austria? I thought it was Tyrol, Italy. I've read a lot of things about Otzi, and he was found near the Austrian border, but it was in Italy. And yeah, he was murdered. He was shot by an arrow in the back. Probably the world's oldest true crimes, right? Who killed Otzi the Iceman in 1991? declare war on in 1991? If there's a lag, be sure to refresh. Everything's all good on my end. Ginger Joe did it while I'm channeling. Oh no. Ginger Joe, don't kill us, Sadie Ice now. Everything's all good on my end, but if multiple people are getting lag, I suppose just refresh IDK. Everything's good on my end. The sun is coming in, though it's very annoying. I'm in the shadows now. Who did Croatia declare war on in 1991? It's less laggy. Oh dear, I'm sorry. Like everything on my end is. Oh no, I'm so sorry. But DR's got it. It is Yugoslavia. The answer is Yugoslavia. How are things now? Everything on my end looks handy dandy, so I don't know what to tell you. There's nothing I can do on my end. I sound like a robot. Oh my gosh. There's not much I can do about that. Yeah, everything's perfectly fine on my end. I can't change anything. It's fine now, but I sound. Oh gosh. I hope this mic is picking me up. Buffering. Can you guys hear that? Hello, Cake Rocks. Sorry, apparently it's bad. Until now. Okay, just let me know if you guys can hear me touching with the microphone. Okay, good. So it is picking up. It's okay now. I don't know what happened. That's a good question, says Neo Ghost. Okay. Nothing changed on my end, so I don't know what happened. That's very strange. Kickrox is doing social studies homework. Have fun with that. I liked social studies because I'm me. Moving on, we're talking about the year 1991. Number 6. Harold V was crowned king of which country? Internet peak hour, maybe Neo Ghost, I don't know. DR's got it. It is Norway. Good job to DR. Harold V is king of Norway. King of Norway. Number 7. Iraq invaded Kuwait, sparking what war? Probably the biggest world news in 1991. Sparking what war? And DR's got it. It was the Gulf War. Good job to DR. The answer is the Gulf War. It's known as the Gulf War. Desert Storm being the U.S. operation, the U.S.-led operation to liberate Kuwait, but the war itself was the Gulf War. Number 8. Which country hosted the 1991 All-Africa Games? Which country hosted the 1991 All-Africa Games? Obviously, you know it's an African country. And Alex knows it is Egypt. Good job to Alex. The answer is Egypt. Janice, try to refresh the page. That might help. Otherwise, everything is crystal clear, going smoothly on my end, so there's nothing I can do. I apologize. But yes, it was Egypt. It was hosted in Cairo. Number 9. Suchinda Krapayun, Suchinda Krapayun led a coup in which country? Suchinda Krapayun led a coup in which country? Not Sri Lanka. Suchinda Krapayun led a coup in which country? And DR's got it. It was Thailand. Good job to DR for getting it first. The answer is Thailand. And you know, Walker, Burma was not correct, but it was called Burma back then, so you would have been correct if it was Burma. Or Myanmar now, but it was Thailand. Number 10. Who hosted the 1991 Games of the Small States in Europe? Do you know that was a thing? The Games of Small States of Europe was held in which country in 1991? Not Estonia. And it was Andorra again. Good job to Walker. It was Andorra. I don't think there's any more Andorra questions tonight. So, anyway, number 11. The 1991 Paris Peace Accords ended violence between Vietnam and which other country? The 1991 Paris Peace Accords ended violence between Vietnam and Cambodia. Good job to DR. The answer is Cambodia. Number 12. Baku held what type of international festival for the first time? So obviously 91, the Soviet Union's collapsed. Azerbaijan is its own independent thing. What do they immediately decide to hold an international festival for in Baku? And Walker's got it. It was a film festival. Good job to Walker. The Baku International Film Festival was first held in 1991, just months after independence. Olivia, what? Obviously not the Pan-African Festival. But good guesses all around. Festival of Azaris is a good guess, DR, but it was just international film. Number 13. How did Suriname's president dissolve his government? So the president of Suriname in 1991 dissolved the entire government system and took over as dictator. But how did he do it? He did not kill everyone. It was not by referendum. He did it in a particular way that I can't tell you then it's the blank revolution because it's how he decided to dissolve the government. He did not launch a coup. He was already in charge. He just decided that he wanted to be the only one in charge. How did he dissolve his government? And not by ballot. I should say that it was not by any kind of official way. It was a very, very informal way. The ballot revolution, it does, but unfortunately that was not it. It sounds very organized for a revolution. Not by email, but you're on the right track, DR. I don't think they really had email in 1991, at least in Suriname. Hey, Sarah, the question is, how did Suriname's president dissolve his government in 1991? Alex got it. It was over the phone. Good job to Alex. He called them and said, guess what? You're fired. So it's called the telephone revolution because he literally did it over the phone. The telephone revolution. Number 14. The 10-day war was fought between Yugoslavia and which country? I know we just mentioned Croatia declared war on Yugoslavia, but that's not this. It's not Croatia. The 10-day war was between Yugoslavia and which country? It was not Russia. I don't think Yugoslavia ever had any official conflict against Russia. I think they were just frenemies for the longest time. And Sarah has got it. It is Slovenia. Good job to Sarah for getting it first. The 10-day war was between Yugoslavia and Slovenia. And number 15. In 1991, Peru officially changed its currency to what? So I should tell you that this might give it away, though. The name of the currency before, but DR's got it. It was the sol. They changed it to the Nuevo Sol. Good job to DR for getting it first. It became the Nuevo Sol. It's still officially the Nuevo Sol, but they still call it the Sol. But good job, you guys. All right. The next year we're going to was suggested by none other than DR. DR has Nuevo Sols. That's so cool. DR, of course, being DR, did not pick the year they were born. I mean, unless you believe the conspiracies. DR picked the year 1860. So here are facts about the year 1860. Number 1. The Poet's Message was the first modern what to be written in Turkish? I didn't know how else to phrase this question. The poet's message was written in Turkish in 1860. What was it? It was not a poem. It's not the alphabet. The poet's message. I mean, poem is a good guess, but it was not a poem. Not a speech. Not a song. But you guys are on the right track. You understand what I'm trying to say. The poet's message was the first modern what to be written in Turkish. Not a novel. Good guesses all around. Not a proverb, Olivia. Not a sonnet, JJ. The poet's message was the first modern what to be written in Turkish in the year 1860. Not a declaration, Evan. Not a telegram. Not a hymn. Not a manifesto. Not a song. Song, poem, novel is closer than all these other guesses. It's nothing too serious. It's an art form. The poet's message was the first modern what to be written in Turkish. It was not an essay, not an opera, Walker. Oh, but you're so close. It wasn't an opera. At least I don't think it was. Dr. Pickle has got a play. Good job to Dr. Pickle. It was a play. I don't know if it was a musical or an opera, but I know it was a play, so I'm going to give that to Dr. Pickle. It was the first modern play to be written in Turkish. Good job, Dr. Pickle. Number 2. In this year, 1860, it became legal for Swedish Lutherans to do what? In 1860, it became illegal for Swedish Lutherans to do what that they weren't allowed to do before. Not divorce. I think Lutherans, they have no qualms with divorce. It's not like Catholics where it's like a whole thing. Alex got it. It was leave the church, or technically it was convert to another religion. They weren't allowed to convert to something else. So good job to Alex for getting it first. Leave the church was correct, or convert to something else. They were not legally allowed to. Number 3. Victor Emmanuel II was declared king of what new country? Victor Emmanuel II was declared king of Italy. Good job to DR. He was king of Italy. Italy became a thing in 1860, unofficially. Number 4. What fashion industry began in France in 1860? What fashion industry began in France in 1860? It was a new country. Why wasn't he the second? Because he was king of the two Sicilies, I think. He was king of other parts of Italy. Sarah's got it. It's haute couture, which means high fashion in French. Good job to Sarah. That is when the haute couture industry began in Paris. Good job, Sarah, for getting it first. Because going back, Italy was not Italy. It was a bunch of kingdoms that were united in this year. Number 5. Who was elected President of the United States in 1860? Who was elected President of the United States in 1860? And DR's got it first. It was Abraham Lincoln. Good job to DR for getting it first. The answer is Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln. Number 6. In 1860, Argentina declared its name to be officially what? Argentina changed its name in 1860. What was its official name? What was Argentina's official name as of 1860? Alex has got it. República Argentina. Good job to Alex. It's the Argentine Republic in English. They changed it too. Good job to Alex for getting it in Spanish too. That's awesome. Number 7. The Mount Lebanon Civil War was between Christians and what other religious group? The Mount Lebanon Civil War, which should give you a hint. It's DR's got it. It's the Druze. Good job to DR. They are a type of Muslims, but very, very different. They were the Druze. Good job to DR. It was between the Christians and the Druze. All right, speaking of the two Sicilies, number 8, the Siege of Gaeta was a conflict between the Kingdom of the Two Sicilies and what other kingdom? The Siege of Gaeta was a conflict between the Kingdom of Two Sicilies and what other kingdom? And it looks like Alex has got it. It was Sardinia. Good job to Alex. It was against the Kingdom of Sardinia, since Italy was one huge civil war in 1860. Good job, everybody. Number 9. The Treaty of Turin ceded Monaco to which country? Since all of this Italian Civil War stuff was happening, the Treaty of Turin ceded Monaco to which country? And Alex has got it first. It was France. Good job to Alex for getting it first. The answer is France. Monaco became part of France. Number 10. Man, these are a lot of wars. Number 10. Which country did Spain declare war on? Which country did Spain declare war on? I think they had like a 5 or 6 month war in 1860. Which country was it? Not the US, it was Morocco. Good job to Sarah. The answer is Morocco, over who got to control Ceuta, which, spoiler alert, Spain won because it's still part of Spain today. It was Morocco. Number 11. What did Britain gift to Nepal? So Nepal was very welcoming of the British who were occupying the region at the time. So they decided to reward the Nepalese by giving them what? What did the British gift to Nepal? Not independence, not an elephant. I'm sure they had enough elephants. Well, not really because it's mountains, but it wasn't money. So no rupees. They did not give them money. What did the British gift to Nepal? Once you know the answer, it'll make sense, I promise. What did the British gift them? It wasn't tea. It wasn't Mount Everest. A sacrifice. That's not very British of them. Not citizenship. I don't think Nepal was ever officially part of the British Empire. I think it was probably just a protectorate. Nothing to do with the military. Think of what the British already owned in that area that they could have given to Nepal. What did the British gift to Nepal in 1860? Compliments? No, that's very British of them, but it wasn't that. Not Bhutan. Oh, Sarah, no. What did they gift to Nepal? I'll give that to JJ. They gave them a part of India. Good job to JJ. They gave them a piece of India. They gave them land in India. Say, hi, Russia. Privyet, Russia. I can't read Cyrillic. I used to. I've forgotten it, so I'm sorry about that. Is it like Han? I'm sorry. I can't read Cyrillic anymore. Number 12. In 1860, what destroyed the town of Comanche, Iowa? In 1860, what destroyed the town of Comanche, Iowa? Not a flood, not a storm per se. Not a fire either. I'm sorry, I didn't see DRs. It was not a fire, not a flood, not an earthquake. I don't think they have earthquakes in Iowa. Alex got it. It was a tornado. Good job to Alex. The answer is a tornado came through and destroyed the entire town. Good job, Alex. Some of these are sad, and I have to be like, good job for getting the sad answer. I didn't think that through. Number 13. Harvard and Yale played an intercollegiate match of what? For the first time in 1860, Harvard and Yale played a game of what? Not football. Good guess, because I think football was invented around this time, but it was not football, like American football. Not baseball. Think like what two college teams would form a team to play each other against. So nothing too, and it's Harvard and Yale. So, something a little more sophisticated than baseball and soccer. Let's see, not rowing, not tennis, not polo, not sailing. Something a bit more informal and a little uppity. It's not really uppity now, I suppose. Not fencing, Kamal. Not chess, Walker, but you're kind of heading toward the right direction. Not croquet, DR. Good guess, but you guys are getting there. It's something that doesn't require a lot of athletic ability to do because it's, an informal tournament organized between Harvard and Yale in 1860. Not bocce ball, although I love bocce ball. It was not golf. Unfortunately, it was not a rap battle with Walker. That would have been kind of epic in 1860. What intercollegiate match did Harvard and Yale play in 1860? Not tennis, not cricket. I'll give you the hint that you play this game indoors. And I also wouldn't call it a sport either. It's a game. You play this game indoors. You play it in a room. They did play the first football games, but not in this year. Not chess, not boxing, not table tennis, not cards. Something that people still play indoors together every day. James Monopoly, that would be fun. Not table tennis. You know what? I'm going to give it to JJ. It's billiards. I know there's a difference between pool and billiards, but I don't care. That's close enough. I'll give it to JJ. The answer is billiards. Pool, same difference. I think pool is not as formal as billiards, but they're the same thing. Come on. Good job, JJ. And the last, I know, DR, I'm making it hard on purpose so everyone has a chance, DR. The last question is about the city that I visited on Sunday, Virginia City, Nevada. If you're a channel member, you can go see what I did in Virginia City, Nevada. It was very eccentric and very, very American, but my channel members got to see it. DR is already trying to guess what I'm trying to say. Virginia City, Nevada became the United States' first successful what? Virginia City, Nevada, where I just was on Sunday, became the U.S.'s first successful what? I'm going to give that to JJ. It was silver mine. Good job to JJ. The U.S.'s first successful silver mine. And what's cool is that up on the hillsides, all the equipment they used, all the things that they constructed for it, for the Comstock lode, is still there. It's really, really cool. I wasn't asking for the Comstock lode. I wanted the U.S.'s first successful silver mine. The silver mine was called the Comstock lode. So if you want to give yourself a point for that, TR, I suppose. But anyway. Moving on to the next year. This next year was suggested by the wonderful Laura Taylor, who's probably asleep right now because they're in the UK. And the year they picked was 1996. So I have 14 questions for you about 1996. Number 1. What ethnic group was added to the Canadian census in 1996? What ethnic group was added to the Canadian census in 1996? First Nations is close, DR, but that's not what it's called on the census. Essentially, that's what it is, but that's not what they call it. That's not the word I'm looking for. So not Sami. I don't think there's any Sami in Canada, but I mean, they could live there. Hello, Callum. It's very good to see you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. What ethnic group was added to the Canadian census in 1996? And not Indigenous people. It is the name of a nationality, I suppose. Not Athabascan. Don't get specific. Not Chinese. That's a good guess, Callum, because there was a lot of Chinese issues in Canada for a long time. Not Métis, not Quebecois, not Inuit. Métis is a good guess, but what word would all of those Indigenous groups fall under in official Canadian census papers? First Nations is what they call it now. They didn't call it then. Not Aboriginal, not Natives. It's not First Nations. That's what they call it now. Think a little bit more obvious. U.S. citizens living in Canada. You're not far off, Walker. Not Indian. You know what? I'm going to give it to Callum. It was just Canadian is what they added to the census. Canadian. They added to the Canadian census. They added the option to put yourself as Canadian. Which, I mean, I guess anyone in Canada is considered Canadian, but if you're ethnically, anyway, that's the word they added was Canadian to the Canadian census in 1996. Is that an ethnic group? According to the Canadian census, Sarah, it is now. As of 1996, it is now an ethnicity, which is just a kind way of saying First Nations peoples, you know. There is American on the US Census. And yeah, usually rural white people will say, yeah, I'm American, but that's not your ethnicity, unless you're Native American, right? Anyway, number 2. What is celebrated in Ukraine on June 28th? No, we already talked about Independence Day, so this isn't it. What is celebrated in Ukraine on June 28th? I'll take that, Alex. It is Constitution Day. Good job to Alex for getting it first. That is Constitution Day. Their constitution was created June 28th, 1996. Their updated new one, obviously. Number 3. I might mispronounce this. The official religious organization for Asatru was founded in 1996. What pantheon do they worship? The official religious organization for Asatru was founded in 1996. What pantheon do they worship? Not Germanic, it is Norse. Good job to Alex. They worship the Norse gods. I would have said they were founded in Norway in 1996, but that would have given it away. They worship the Norse gods. Number 4. Which country's famine ended in 1996 after finally accepting UN food aid? Which country's famine ended in 1996 after officially accepting UN food aid? Callum got it first. It was North Korea. Good job to Callum for getting it first. The answer was North Korea had one of the worst famines of I want to say 20th century. Hold on. I suppose in East Asia. UN food aid was the hint. Absolutely, Callum. I almost didn't put that. I almost just put food aid, but I was like, nah, they're going to be guessing for too long with that. So it was North Korea. Number 5. The world's first democratically elected female president retired in 1996. What country did she govern? The world's first. Hi, Manatee. Good to see you. The world's first democratically elected female president retired in 96. She controlled Iceland. Good job to Callum. She was president of Iceland. Now, before you try to say India, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka. Those are prime ministers, not presidents. She was the first democratically elected female president who retired in 1996. She was president of Iceland. Number 6. In 1996, Ethiopia dissolved which branch of its military? In 1996, Ethiopia dissolved which branch of its military? Think about it. DR didn't have to. It's the Navy. Good job to DR. Ethiopia dissolved its Navy because it was now officially landlocked and did not require a Navy. So they officially retired their Navy in 96. Yep, because they lost all of their coastal areas, Callum, to Eritrea. Number 7. The U.S. Helms-Burton Act strengthened embargoes for which country? I should say against which country? The U.S.'s Helms-Burton Act. Hello, Justin. Strengthened embargoes against Cuba. Good job to Callum for getting it first. The answer is Cuba. It had a lot more official names, but it would have given away what it was for. It strengthened the embargo against Cuba. Number 8. Here's another UN hint. I'll probably give it away. The UN established an oil for food program for which country? In 1996, the UN established an oil for food program for which country? Which country had oil that they exchanged for food? And Alex knows it was Iraq. Good job to Alex for getting it first. The answer is Iraq. Number 9. The Uzbek language was officially changed from what script? In 1996, Uzbek officially became Roman letters. What were they using before? And Callum's got it. It was Cyrillic. Good job to Callum. The answer was Cyrillic. They changed their alphabet from Cyrillic to Latin, like DR said, or Latin script. Number 10. Many pyramid schemes began to collapse in this country in 1996, leading to civil wars. And Callum already knows it was Albania. Good job to Callum for getting it first. The answer is Albania. Lots and lots of pyramid schemes in Albania in the 90s. And 96 was the year they started to all crumble because no pyramid scheme can last. Number 11. The Basic Statute of Oman was issued in 1996. Essentially, what is it? What is the Basic Statute of Oman? In the Western world, what would we call it? And DR's got it. It is their constitution. Good job to DR. That is their name for their constitution. It's not officially the Constitution of Oman, but it pretty much is. It's the Basic Statute of Oman. Number 12. Morocco's new constitution granted a lot more power to what? Another constitution question. Morocco's new constitution granted a lot more power to, I was just going for the king, but DR's got it, Mohammed V. It granted way more powers to the king. You guys are killing it tonight. Number 13. In 1996, which country launched its first satellite? Now here's a tricky one. Deliberately making these so that everyone can have a chance. Which country launched its first satellite in 1996? China and India definitely did theirs much earlier than 96, I'm sure. Not Pakistan, not Japan. This is a country that you wouldn't really... Never Wrong Sarah has got it. It's the Philippines. Good job to Sarah. Never Wrong Sarah has got it. It was the Philippines. Good job, Sarah. And number 14, a Maoist political party sparked a civil war in which country in 1996? A Maoist political party sparked a civil war in which country? It was not Peru. Not Afghanistan. It was Nepal. Good job to Sarah. The answer is Nepal. All right. The next year was suggested by 13 Crystal Sister, one of my oldest members. She doesn't come to trivia, but she's a very, very kind lady who's been supporting my channel for way back. So I really, really appreciate her. She suggested the year 1977. So I have 14 questions for you about the year 1977. And before we do that, this video has not got a lot of thumbs up, so please click that if you have not done so yet. It really helps out my channel, really helps out the algorithm, and I would really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Cake Rocks just watched the Bill Word's Entire History of the World. Great video. It's all questions about disco. Unfortunately, I don't think any of these questions are about disco. Very, very sadly. Oh, wait, let me look it over. Oh no, I'm thinking of a different year. Okay, nope. Like there's a music question, but it's not this year. Bye, Alex. Thank you so much for playing. You were on fire tonight. Great job. Hopefully I will see you soon. The sun is a deadly laser. Yes. Number 1, questions about 1977. Who was the first Arab head of state to visit Israel? Who was the first Arab head of state to visit Israel? And DR knows it was Anwar al-Sadat. Good job to DR. It was the president of Egypt. They have presidents, right? Sadat, which led to both world leaders of Morocco and Israel getting Nobel Peace Prizes for funsies, I guess. Number 2, what did the Charter of the French language establish? And I'm going to leave it there because any other clues will give it away. What did the Charter of the French language establish? DR just put Quebec, which I can't accept, but you're on the right track, DR. What did the Charter of the French language accept? And not so much Quebec schooling. I'm going to give that to Callum. Bilingualism in Canada. It established French as an official language of Canada. French being spoken in schools and many other places. The Charter of the French language made French an official language of Canada. Yes. Number 3. Bye, Cake Rocks. Thank you for hanging around. Who did India vote out of office in 1977? Who did India vote out of office in 1977? They ran for the position and lost. Not Nehru, very close. DR's got it. It's Indira Gandhi. Good job to DR. The answer is Indira Gandhi. Was voted out of office in 1977. Number 4, riots broke out in Egypt over what food? Riots broke out in Egypt over what food? And I was just reading about this the other day. I'll tell you all about it. It was not hummus. It was bread. Good job to Sarah. It was called the bread riots because as of right now, Egypt issues a free loaf of bread to every household. Like the Egyptian government grants bread to every household, 1 loaf a day, because bread is such a staple food in Egypt. In 1977, they had bread as, what's it called? When like the government pays for part of it, so it's really cheap. One of those. They raised the price, and some people could not afford bread, and there were riots in the streets. Government subsidized. Thank you, Callum. They subsidized the bread. So nowadays, Every family gets one free loaf of bread every single day in Egypt because it's that much of a staple food in Egypt, which is pretty cool. Apparently, it's a huge drain on the government, and they've been trying to repeal it for years, which is what I was reading about. But it's still going on today. Every family in Egypt gets one loaf of bread a day. Pretty neat. Number 5. Which country built a military base on the South Sandwich Islands in 1977? Ancient Rome used to do that with the grain doll. There's very few things you can take away from ancient Rome, but that's not a bad one. Now, you think it would be the UK because the UK owns the South Sandwich Islands, but it was not the UK. Not the US either. I don't think the US is that foolish. Which country would have been that foolish to have built a military base on UK soil in 1977? And Callum knows it was Argentina. Good job to Callum. The answer is Argentina. They were not a fan of the UK at that time. Hello, Ariel. Good to see you. We are doing questions about 1977. Number 6. Libya changed its flag to only be what color? And hopefully all is well over in Libya. I know it's not at the moment. DR got it first. It was green. Good job to DR for getting it first. Gaddafi changed the flag to just the color green. The floods over there, I forget the name of the city. It's one of the coastal cities, are absolutely horrendous. And I really, really hope that from now on, now that the flood is done and it's cleanup time and saving lives time and burying loved ones time, that all is going to be peaceful and well over there in Libya. The floods were absolutely devastating in the past few days. Yes, Ariel, I saw you. Number 7. Which country invaded Ethiopia in the Ogaden War? Right, Morocco and Libya both had really terrible natural disasters. This way gets very sad. DR has got it. It was Somalia. Good job to DR. The Ogaden War was fought between Ethiopia and Somalia. Number 8. Sheikh Jabbar al-Ahmed became emir of which country in 1977? Sheikh Jabbar al-Ahmed became emir of which country in 1977? DR's got it. It was Kuwait. Good job to DR. The answer is Kuwait. It's Kuwait. Number 9. Cuba sent combat troops to which African country in 1977? They sent troops to a lot of countries. Which African country did they send troops to in 1977? And DR has got it first. It was Angola. Good job to DR for getting it first. The answer is Angola. Number 12. No, sorry. Number 10. I can't read numbers. I pretend I do. I get away with it most of the time. Number 10. Where did the Voyager Golden Records go on August 20th, 1977? Where did they go? Not to the moon, but you're on the right track. Callum got it. They're out into space. Good job to Callum. If you don't know, the Voyager Golden Records are big records that have all kinds of human speech, songs, I think even pictures encoded into it. And they sent it deep into space for aliens to find, for some kind of life to find. And it also includes directions on how to get to Earth on them so that they can come visit us. That was the Voyager Golden Records. They're still out there somewhere in the cosmos. Invasion plans, right, Callum? Isn't it neat, JJ? I think it's really cool. Number 11. What building project did Tashkent complete in 1977? Yeah, that was a Carl Sagan brainchild. Very Carl Sagan. Visit us in like 10 million years. Not the cities, DR. What building project did Tashkent complete? The city of Tashkent had built something for a long time. They finished it in 1977. Oh, DR, that's so kind of you. Thank you. What did the city of Tashkent complete construction of in 1977? It's still around today. And Sarah's got it. It was the metro system. Good job to Sarah. The answer is the Tashkent metro system. Since Soviets loved metro systems, which it's a good thing to love. Number 12. Latvia established its Red Book in 1977. What does it list? What does Latvia's Red Book list? It lists a certain something. What is it? Not names. I'll wait for a couple of guesses before I start giving hints. Not laws. Latvia's Red Book has a list of a certain thing. What is it? Callum, you're very close. It is animals, but specific kinds of animals. What's special about these Latvian animals? Latvia's Red Book lists what? It is an animal thing. Komal has got it. It's endangered animals. Good job to Komal for getting it first. The answer is Latvia's endangered animals is listed in the Red Book, it's called. Good job, Komal. Number 13. In 1977, Djibouti became independent from which country? That's okay, Justin. I would have accepted that if you got it first. And DR's got it. It was France. Good job to DR. The answer is France. Djibouti became independent from France. It was a whole to-do. I talked about it in my Al Sabia video the other day. How Somalia voted to be independent and Djibouti did not until they finally did. So they voted independence from France. And last question for this category, number 14. Which country hosted the 1977 European Basketball Championship? Which country hosted the 1977 European Basketball Championship? Soweto? No. Which country hosted the 1977 European Basketball Championship? Not Switzerland, not Spain. JJ. Which country hosted the 1977 European Basketball Championship? It was not France. Sarah's got it. It was Belgium. Good job to Never Wrong Sarah, who's still not wrong even though they guessed. The answer was Belgium. Good job, Sarah. I was hoping one of you was going to put Lithuania because they love basketball in Lithuania. They probably won the championship, but it was Belgium who hosted. All right, this next year was suggested by Mark Haga, one of my channel members who's been around for quite a bit. They suggested the year 1973, so we're going back a couple years in history. We're going to talk about 1973, which a lot happened in that year, so let's get into it. Hold on to that thought, DR. My goodness, slow your roll. Number 1. The United Kingdom left the European Free Trade Association to join what? Callum's mom was born in 1973. That's great. The United Kingdom left the European Free Trade Association so that they can join what? It wasn't, well, okay. Because it wasn't called European Cold and Steel then. I'm going to give it to Callum. It's just the EC, the European Communities, which became the European Union. So I'm going to give that to Callum. The European Economic Community, right? The EC, European Communities, same difference. Good job, Callum. Number 2, what bridge connected Europe and Asia beginning in 1973? That was Ariel's mom's birth year too. Wow. What bridge connected, and Kamal's dad. Wow. What bridge connected Europe and Asia beginning in 1973? Now it is in Istanbul. Sarah's got it. It's the Bosporus Bridge. Good job to Sarah. The answer is the Bosporus Bridge. The Bosporus Bridge, which is a nice trigger word. Bosporus Bridge. Not a bad one. Number 3. What was the Sunningdale Agreement an attempt to do? What was the Sunningdale Agreement an attempt to do? They did not succeed in what they wanted to do. What were they trying to do? In the Sunningdale Agreement, it was not Zimbabwe. The Sunningdale Agreement was an attempt to do what? It had nothing to do with pollution. Wait for the Googlers. DR, come on. Sunningdale Agreement. Callum's got it. End the troubles in Northern Ireland. Good job to Callum. It was an agreement to try to stop the troubles, as they call it, in Ireland and Northern Ireland. Did not work, unfortunately. Good job, Callum, for getting it. Number 4. Egypt and Syria attacked Israel during which Jewish holiday? DR, now's your time. And DR's got it. It was Yom Kippur. Good job to DR for getting it first. The answer is Yom Kippur. You knew it was coming. It's 73, of course. We have to talk about it. It was the Yom Kippur War. Number 5. Australia ended racially discriminatory policies in 1973. What were they known as? So in America, we called them Jim Crow laws. South Africa was officially apartheid. What was it called in Australia? Racially discriminatory policies was called White Australia. Good job to Sarah. The answer is White Australia. Very straightforward. White Australia was the answer. Good job, Sarah, for getting it. Number 4. Denmark was the first country to implement what type of law? Come on, it is Australia. They say things as they are. It's just things are named very literally there. It has not to do with healthcare. Denmark was the first country to implement what type of law? Nothing to do with the death penalty. What type of law was Denmark the first country to create in 1973? Oh, Sarah's got one wrong. It was not to do with immigration, not to do with smoking, not to do with abortion. 1973. Sarah's got it. It was an environmental law. Good job to Sarah. Oh, Tana's Roofed was right behind. Oh, you're so close. It was the world's first environmental laws passed in Denmark in 1973. Makes sense now, right? Of course they would. The world's first environmental laws. Number 5. DR's going to get this one. I have a feeling DR's going to get this one first. So many laws were in 1973 in Denmark. Sarah lives in Denmark. Well, yeah, I'm about to talk about a law passed in the United States, and there were a lot of laws there too. But what policy did the U.S. create to protect threatened animals? What policy did the U.S. create to protect threatened animals? Now, the Clean Air Act wasn't until the 90s? Not the Clean Water Act. Protect threatened animals. Not the EPA. That's just a whole department. That's the Environmental Protection Agency. What policy did the U.S. create to protect threatened animals? And I'm going to give that to Sarah. It's the Endangered Species Act. Good job to Sarah for getting it first. I thought DR really would hop in there, but DR, you were very close. It was the Endangered Species Act. The Endangered Species Act, still in effect today. They just removed the bald eagle from the endangered species list in the United States, which is awesome. Number 6. What did Saudi Arabia boycott from Western nations that supported Israel? The other big news of 1973. And DR's got this one. It was oil that led to the oil crisis around the world. Good job to DR. They boycotted oil to Western countries that supported Israel during the conflict with Egypt and Syria. Number 7. An attack on protesting students on November 17th sparked a movement that toppled the dictatorial regime of which country? So, a big student protest. I can't say in which city because it was the capital of this country. On November 17th, the students were attacked like in Kent State, but it's not Kent State. Hey, Asinucci, you're welcome. November 17th, students were protesting the government. They were fired upon. It led to riots and outrage and eventually toppled the regime of which country? We're on 1973. We haven't got to your yet, Asinucci. Maybe I'll do it next. Sarah's got it. It was Greece. Good job to Sarah. The answer is Greece. There are protests that happened in Greece. Number 8. Juan Perón won re-election in 1973 in Argentina. Who was his vice president? You all thought I was going to guess the country. Obviously, Juan Perón was president of Argentina. It was not Eva Perón. It was Isabel. His wife was what I was looking for. Isabel Perón at the time. His wife was vice president. So good job to DR for getting it. It was Isabel Perón, his wife. Which I don't think Eva, when Juan Perón was first president, I don't think Eva was... She didn't have like an actual role. She just did really nice things, right? It wasn't until his re-election many years later, once he got a little fanatical. Yeah, she died really, really young. Vice president and first lady. Exactly, Walker. Yeah, he got a little fanatical in the 70s and made his wife the vice president. Number 9. Kuwait and Iraq almost went to war over what in 1973? What did Kuwait and Iraq almost spark a war in 1973 about? So not oil. It's not the Gulf War. They didn't go to war over oil. I'm going to give that to... I'm going to give it to Manatee. Borders is the correct answer. Land, etc. It was where to draw the borders because they were trying to figure out which of those islands belonged to who. Philica Island was poppin', if you know your Kuwait City video facts at the time. But they almost went to war over who got to control what islands in the Gulf. So it was over their borders. Good job, Manatee. Oh, yes, that's an intro. Absolutely. Not so much anymore. Iraq has a lot more problems to worry about than Kuwait. But yeah, for a long time, they had beef. It was mostly Saddam, yeah. It was like 80% Saddam. Happens when you draw countries with a ruler. Exactly, Callum. Straight lines means there's nothing there. Number 10. German-Colombian Ricky Van Opel raced for which country in Formula One in the year 1973? Ricky Van Opel was German-Colombian Formula One racer. So what country did he race for in 1973? And Sarah's got it. It was Liechtenstein. Good job to Sarah. The answer was Liechtenstein. Hello, Deep Shadow. Tennis Roofed. Saddam was not president in 73, but he was probably prime minister. He's definitely the head of the Ba'ath Party at that time. So he wasn't 100% in charge, but he was like 60% in charge at that point. Sarah is very, very smart. I figured that's like a Formula One fact that Formula One nerds would know. But yes, he raced for Liechtenstein. He became a monk, Dr. Pickle. That's good for him. Number 11. The Soviet Cup was won by a club from which city? Sarah watches Formula One. A lot of people do. We don't really watch it in America. So the Soviet Cup, a football cup, was won by a club from which city? It was not Moscow. So think Soviet Union. Not St. Petersburg, not Almaty, not Vladivostok, not Kursk. No, I'll give you the hint that it's a city that is not in Russia currently, not Tallinn. The city is not in Russia right now. Look at all of these they're not correct. No, not Lviv, not Riga, not Odessa, not Kiev, not Vilnius, not Tbilisi, not Tashkent, not Odessa, not Warsaw, not Kiev. All good guesses. Which football club won the Soviet Cup in 1973? Not Wrocław, not Kazan, not Prague, not Budapest. What else can I give you a hint for? How about this? It's a capital city. Nowadays, it is a capital city. Not Bucharest, not Belgrade, not Baku, not Minsk. And DR's got it. It was Yerevan. Good job to DR for getting it. It was Yerevan's football club won the Soviet Cup in 1973. Good job to DR for getting it. And last question for 1973, number 12. Syria's new constitution that was written that year removed what presidential requirement? Syria's new constitution removed what presidential requirement? Doesn't mean anything because the Assads have been presidents since independence. Close, DR. There you go. DR's got it, that he be Muslim. No longer requires the president to be Muslim. However, it doesn't matter because Assad, father and son, have been the only presidents of Syria. But if there ever is a new one, they don't have to be Muslim, according to the 1973 Syrian constitution. A Jew could be president of Syria. I don't ever see that happening, like anytime ever as a nutria. But it is, they could run. They would lose, but they could run. All right, let's move on to Acid Nutria's year, since I was going to wait for them to arrive because I know they work to do their year. So Acid Nutria picked the year 1929. Imagine a timeline with that. It would be very progressive, wouldn't it? I don't see it ever happening. Acid Nutria picked the year 1929. I have 15 questions for you about the year 1929. Number 1. Who was exiled from the Soviet Union in 1929? Who was exiled from the Soviet Union in 1929? And DR's got it. It was Trotsky. Good job to DR for getting it first. The answer is Leon Trotsky was exiled from the Soviet Union. Number 2. The Institutional Revolutionary Party, or PRI in their language, controlled which country for 70 years, beginning in 1929? DR already knows it was Mexico. Good job to DR for getting it. The answer is Mexico. Did Trotsky fall on an ice pick? Landed by Vicente Fox. That's true, DR. You know your Mexican politics. Yes, the PRI controlled Mexico for 70 years, beginning in 1929. Number 3. Well, this one is kind of sort of easy. If you know your history, you'll know this one. The Lateran Treaty established what new country? Yes. And DR's got it first. It was the Vatican. Good job to DR. The Lateran Treaty created Vatican City, or the Holy See, as its own independent country. Number 4. Alexander the Unifier became king of what now broken apart country? Alexander the Unifier became king of what now broken apart country. I'll give that to DR, Yugoslavia. At the time, it was the Kingdom of Serbs, Croats, and Slovenes, but also in 1929, he changed it to Yugoslavia. So either answer I will accept. The answer is Yugoslavia. Good job to DR for getting it first. Number 5. What event started the Great Depression in 1929? What event started the Great Depression? And DR's got it. It was Black Tuesday. Good job to DR for getting it first. Sorry, Asanutria. The answer is Black Tuesday, which was the Wall Street crash, right? Good job, DR, for getting it first. Number 6. What art awards were first given out in 1929? Right, Asanutria? Sorry. What art awards were first given out in 1929? And DR's got it. It was the Oscars. Good job to DR for getting it first. It was not called the Oscars then. It would take a couple years. Bye, Ariel. Have a good day at school. You're going to do awesome. I know you are because you're one of my viewers, and my viewers are very smart people. So you're going to do awesome at school today, Ariel. Yes, the Academy Awards of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, they're called. I think a year or two later, they started calling them the Oscars. But yes, they started in 1929. JJ said Oscars first. Nope, I've got DR and Sarah before you, JJ. I'm sorry. Is an Oscar the name of the trophy? It is. It's a nickname of the trophy, but they're also called the Oscars, you know. Number 7. The Battle of Sabilla was the last tribal uprising in which country? They're not named after Oscar the Grouch. There's a whole story about why they're called the Oscars. Not Spain, not Morocco. The Battle of Sabilla. Let's see, Emily's here. One story for the name of the Oscars. Betty Davis's husband. No, that wasn't it either. But I think that's one of the urban legends. Sarah has got it. It was Saudi Arabia. Good job to Sarah for getting it. It was the last tribal uprising in Saudi Arabia. Since what is now Saudi Arabia was just a bunch of different tribes that warred with each other for a long time. I forget the name of the family. DR will chime in with the name of the Saudi royal family. The family of Riyadh united them all. The last battle was in 1929. So the Oscars, one of the employees at the Academy had the Sauds. Thank you, Taner's Roofed. Obviously, it's the Saud family. What am I thinking? Obviously, my brain is not on it. It's the Saud family. Anyway, one of the employees of the Academy said out loud, "Oh, the statue looks like my Uncle Oscar." And so they started jokingly calling them the Oscars, and then it stuck. That's where it came from. It came after somebody's Uncle Oscar. Number 8. 75-year-old Franz I became Prince of which country in 1929? Exactly, Callum. Yes, it's Saudi Arabia. It's Arabia controlled by the Saud family. Good guesses here. Not the Netherlands, not Norway, not Monaco, not Sweden, not Austria-Hungary. It was Liechtenstein. Good job to Sarah. Prince being a big hint because the ruler of Liechtenstein is the prince. Sarah's got it. It became the Prince of Liechtenstein. Number 9. What automobile race began in 1929? Now one of the most famous races in the world. Yeah, Andorra's leader is the French and Spanish presidents. And Sarah's got it. It is the Monaco Grand Prix I'll give that to Sarah. It is the Monaco Grand Prix, was first raced in 1929. How cool is that? The Monaco Grand Prix began in 1929. Number 10. The IPC was established in 1929. What did the I stand for? I won't tell you anything else because that'll give it away. The IPC is an organization that no longer exists. It's not international. What did the I stand for? An IPC. It's a company founded in 1929. No longer exists. Not information, not internal. Okay, I'll give you the hint. The P stands for petroleum. The P stands for petroleum. What does the I stand for? None of these are correct. It's a proper noun. It's not a verb or adjective. Oh, now you're getting there. Not Indian, not Iranian. You guys are on the right track. And Sarah's got it. It's Iraq. It was the Iraq Petroleum Company. Good job, Sarah, for getting it first. Manatee right behind, and Asanuchi right behind too. It was for Iraq. It was the Iraq. Did you say that, Asanuchi? No, you said it after Sarah and Manatee both said Iraq before you, Asanuchi. I'm sorry. Even your autocorrect one. But yes, good job. Number 11. Muhammad Nader Shah became king of which country in 1929? Muhammad Nader Shah became king of which country in 1929? Hello, Dan. Good to see you. Not Jordan, not Libya, not Egypt. Sarah's got it. It was Afghanistan. Good job to Sarah. Very famous figure in their history. The answer is Afghanistan. He was the king of Afghanistan in 1929. Number 12. This is when I ran out of global questions and just found trivia about 1929. Number 12. What popular number game was invented in 1929? What popular number game was invented in 1929? Not Keno, not Connect 4, something that people of all ages can play. Not Sudoku, not Uno. Sarah's got it. It's bingo. Good job to Sarah. Bingo was invented in 1929. How cool is that? Number 13. The Broadway Melody was released, becoming the first Oscar-winning film with what? So, the Broadway Melody won Best Picture in 1930, which means it was released in 1929. It was the first the first Oscar movie with sound. Good job to DR for getting it first. It was the first Oscar-winning film that had sound in it, and good thing because it was a musical. The Broadway Melody. First Oscar movie that had sound. Number 14. Who was inaugurated as America's 31st president in 1929? If The Sound of Music was a silent film, that would be weird. DR's got it first. It was Hoover. Good job to DR for getting it first. The answer was Herbert Hoover. He was elected in 1928, but he was inaugurated in 1929 because we inaugurate our presidents in January. And number 15. Where's Kitten? He is in the other room. My sister and her husband are here, so they're watching him. He was really crazy earlier today, so I don't want him causing chaos during the whole stream. So he's not going to, maybe I'll drag him in the end, but he's not here right now. Number 15. On March 6th, 1929, Turkey signed a peace treaty with which country? On March 6th, 1929, Turkey signed a peace treaty. You'd think it would be Greece, but it was not Greece. You think they would have tried to patch things up, but it was not Greece. It was Bulgaria. Good job to Sarah for getting it. The answer is Bulgaria. Bulgaria. All right, I have one more year, and then it looks like we have about 35 minutes left in this timing that I want to do. So we'll finish this, and then we will do some questions out of the book if we need to fill up more time. So the last year I have was suggested by Pamela. Oh, you're welcome, Asset Nutria. Pamela's been a channel member for quite some time and leaves the sweetest comments. They suggested the year 1956. So here is Pamela's year. I have 15 questions about 1956. DR, slow down. Actually, you're close. Number one, the Second Arab-Israeli War was sparked when Israel invaded which country? It was 56, Acid Nutria. I'm going to give it to Acid Nutria. It was Egypt. They invaded the Sinai, but the Sinai was Egypt. So Acid Nutria gets that. Israel invaded Egypt and became the Suez Crisis. It's okay. It was Egypt. It became Israel for a minute, but yes, it was Egypt. Number two, the Summer Olympics of 1956 were hosted in Melbourne, but where were the equestrian events held? So the Summer Olympics were in Melbourne, Australia. Where did they hold the equestrian events? Now, I'm tricking you all. The thing is, they could not have the events in Australia because they could not fly all of the horses to Australia. So they held it somewhere else. Where did they host the equestrian events? What city, Sarah? Because if all the events were in Melbourne, but the equestrian was in what city, I should say. So Acid Nutria gets that one. It was Stockholm. Bonus point to Sarah for getting Sweden, but I was looking for the city. They were hosted in Stockholm. Good job, Acid Nutria, for getting it in before Sarah did, right behind Sarah and Manatee. It was Stockholm. Number three, I'm going to pronounce this wrong. Boleslav Bierut was a communist leader who passed away in 1956. What country was he president of? Boleslav Bierut? DR's got it. It was Poland. Good job. To DR, the answer is Poland. I don't know how to pronounce that last name because it's Polish. But yes, Boleslav, yeah. He was president of Poland. Number four. Which country hosted the Winter Olympics in 1956? And this time I need the country because the city is a small, little, wintry skiing city. So which country hosted the Winter Olympics? Not Austria, not Norway, not Finland, not Switzerland. It was not St. Moritz. It was Italy. Good job to Sarah. The answer was Italy. It was a town I'd never heard of, so I'm not going to quiz you on something I've never known about. So it was in Italy. Some little, like, alpine town in Italy hosted the Winter Olympics in 1956. Number five. The Porkala Peninsula was a Soviet base until 1956 when they returned it to which country? The Porkala Peninsula was a Soviet base until 1956 when they returned it to which country? It was not Japan or China, not North Korea. The Porkala Peninsula, not Norway. It was Finland. Good job to Acid Nutria. The answer is Finland. I assumed Veer would have been able to be here. Unfortunately, they cannot be here. They would have got it right away. But yes, it was a peninsula that's now Finland. The Soviets took it and used it as a base for quite a while. They returned it to Finland in 1956. Number six. Juscelino Kubitschek became president of which country? Juscelino Kubitschek Kubitschek became president of which country? You're all falling for it. I've asked this before and you all fell for it too. So not Hungary, not Czechoslovakia, not Poland, not Germany. Yep, it is a trick. Not West or East Germany, not Romania, not Yugoslavia. Juscelino Kubitschek became president of which country? Not Ukraine, not Denmark, not Spain. All right. I will give you the hint that it is not a European country. It's not a country in Europe. JJ's got it. It was Brazil. Good job to JJ. He was president of Brazil, President Kubitschek, president of Brazil. I love that question because who was it? Who was the leader of Peru who was Japanese? Or was it Argentina? I think it was Peru. I love asking questions like that because you would have never guessed. Fujimori, thank you. Fujimori was the president, prime minister, one of those of Peru. So that's another fun one to ask. It was Peru. But yeah, that's another fun one. Juscelino Kubitschek was president of Brazil. There were two. That's true. There were two Fujimoris. Anyway, number 7. The August faction incident was an attempt to take down the leader of which country? The August faction incident was an attempt to take down the leader of which country? It was not Spain. I was going to include which countries were involved to take down, but I would have given it away. But Sarah's got it. It was North Korea. Yes, it was a joint South Korean, Chinese, Soviet attempt to take down North Korea, or take down, what was his name? Kim Jong-un? Yeah. Yes, China, I know. Il-sung, thank you, TR. Kim Il-sung. To try to take him down, and it failed horribly. But yes. It was mostly South Korean. Yeah, that's okay. Okay. Number 8. India reorganized its states this year, sorting them by what? India reorganized its states in 1956. It organized them by languages. Good job to DR. They reorganized their states by language so that each state spoke a specific language. Good job, DR. Number 9. What European event was hosted for the first time on May 24th, 1956? What European event was first hosted? And Callum got it first. It was Eurovision. Sorry, Asanutria. Callum got it first. It was Eurovision was first held in 1956. Number 11. I'm sorry, Asanutria. The first economic conflict ended between Iceland and the UK over what? In 1956, the first economic conflict between Iceland and the UK ended over fish. Good job to Callum for getting it first. It was the first unofficial conflict of the Cod Wars, as they're called. When Iceland decided to keep drawing its imaginary line of where it could fish and where Great Britain could not fish. And they called it the Cod Wars. So good job to Callum for getting it first. It was an economic conflict over fish, which the Cod Wars is just like the funniest thing ever. Number 12, the name, I mean, not the economic tension. The Lumpini Stadium opened in Thailand in 1956. What sport does it host? The Lumpini Stadium opened in Thailand in 1956. What sport does it host? Not cricket, not soccer. Athleticism, no. Your hint is Thailand. Not the name. They named it after the place where the Buddha was born. But Thailand is your hint. What sport does the Lumpini Stadium host? Callum, you're halfway there. I can't accept that answer, but you're halfway there. Walker's got it. It's Muay Thai boxing. Good job to Walker. The answer is Muay Thai boxing. It's a boxing stadium. Good job, Walker. Number 13. Prince Rainier of Monaco married which Hollywood actress in 1956? This one's easy. Acid Nutria's got it first. It was Grace Kelly. Good job to Acid Nutria. Grace Kelly and Prince Rainier's wedding was in 1956. Number 14. Riots broke out in Georgia, the country. Sakartvelo, Georgia, the country. Riots broke out in the country of Georgia when Khrushchev denounced what leader? Riots broke out in Georgia when Khrushchev denounced what leader? And DR's got it. It was Stalin. Good job to DR. The answer is Stalin, who was Georgian. Georgian people were very proud of Stalin in 1956 when Khrushchev was like, Stalin was not really a good person. They were like, rawr, we take that as a personal attack on Georgians. But yes, it was Stalin. And the last question, number 15, what country became independent from France in March 1956? What country became independent from France in March 1956? You're all on the right track that it's an African country. Not Libya, not Mali, not Tunisia. Sarah's got it. It was Morocco. Good job to Sarah for getting it first. The answer is Morocco. All right, we have about 15 minutes left. Let's get the little book out. There we go. Let's DR, I see what you're doing there. Don't say that. Callum's going to bed. Good night, Callum. Thanks so much for playing along. It was great to have you here again. Let's do a little geography quiz before we call it a night. I'm probably just going to do one of these, and we'll call it a night. Don't think we did this one. Yes, let's do this one. Okay. General knowledge. Number 1. Striped, brown, and spotted, also known as laughing, are all species of what African mammal? Striped, brown, and spotted / laughing are all species of what African mammal? Manatee's got it. It is the hyena. Good job to Manatee. The answer is the hyena. It's the hyena. Number 2. In what mountain range would you find Mont Blanc? Easy. In what mountain range would you find Mont Blanc? Mont Blanc. DR's got it first. It was the Alps. Good job to DR. The answer is the Alps. Emily. So was a manatee. No, manatee got it. That's funny. Number 3. In what city can you find Paisley Park, the former home and recording studio of the late U.S. musician Prince? This one's easy for me. DR knows it too. It is Minneapolis. Good job to DR for getting it first. The answer is Minneapolis. Number 4. Released in 1934, the surgeon's photograph was supposedly an image of what? I'm not going to finish the question. I'm going to let you struggle and figure it out. Released in 1934, the surgeon's photograph was an image of what? I'll give you hints. I'll phrase it how I would phrase it and make you struggle. Not a death mask, not an alien, but you know what, Manatee? You're not far off. It is something supernatural. It is something not of this world. Emily's got it. It's the Loch Ness Monster. Good job to Emily. It's that photograph you see of the Loch Ness Monster. Good job, Emily. The question was, what famous Scottish tourist attraction? That's too obvious. Making you guys struggle. Number 5. The Nullarbor Plain is an extremely arid coastal region of which country? The Nullarbor Plain is an arid region of Australia. Dr. Pickles got it. It is in Australia. Good job, Dr. Pickle, for getting it first. Number 6. What draws tourists to the pavement outside the TLC or Grauman's Chinese Theater in Los Angeles? What makes the sidewalk of the Chinese Theater famous? I've been there. Not the Walk of Fame, it is the handprints. Good job, JJ. The Walk of Fame goes all down Hollywood Boulevard, but at the Chinese Theater is where they put their handprints in the cement. So that goes to JJ. They put the handprints there. The stars are all it loops around multiple times around Hollywood Boulevard. There's like 3 sets of stars per sidewalk square nowadays. Yes, the Chinese Theater is where they put handprints into the cement, and there's lots. I saw Marilyn Monroe's handprints there. I saw the whole cast of Star Wars had their handprints there. Really, the first Star Wars, obviously. Really, really, really cool. Number 7. Oh my gosh. K-pop is a form of pop music from which country? It's not the music I'm obsessed with or anything. The 4th Star Wars, I should say. And DR's got it first. It is South Korea. Good job to DR. K-pop comes from South Korea, hence the K. Don't ever check out North Korean pop. By the way, South Korean pop's what it said. North Korean pop is about working and how great the country is. Number 8. The unfinished cathedral, La Sagrada Familia, is in which European city? Is there DR? North Korean pop is not K-pop. DR's got it first. It is Barcelona. Good job to DR. That's an easy one. The answer is Barcelona. And it says for a bonus point, who designed it? Who designed La Sagrada Familia? And DR's got it, Antoni Gaudi. Good job to DR. It was Antoni Gaudi. Apparently they're on track to finish it. I think they're going for 2029 to finish the cathedral. Hello, Connor from Wales. Number 9. What sturdy, hard-wearing type of cloth is named after the French town of Nîmes? What sturdy, hard-wearing cloth is named after the French town Nîmes? And JJ's got it. It is denim, or de Nîmes, which in French means from Nîmes. Denim. How cool is that? Good job to JJ for getting it first. It is denim. I never thought of that before. That's so cool. Number 10. In what city would you find a huge exhibition space known as the Sambadrome? Big clue in there. Yeah, they've been on track for finishing for about 30 years, but they're really saying 2029 nowadays. They're really going for 2029. DR's got it first. It is Rio de Janeiro. Good job to DR. Of course, the Sambadrome is in Rio de Janeiro. Of course it is. Good job, DR. Number 11. The Whispering Gallery is a feature of which major London landmark? It goes on to describe who built it, but I'm not going to say it because that's a hint. The Whispering Gallery is a feature of which major London landmark? Not the Tate, not the British Museum. JJ's got it. It's St. Paul's. It goes on to say it was rebuilt by Sir Christopher Wren after the Great Fire of London. That would have given it away. It is St. Paul's. Good job, JJ. The Whispering Gallery is in St. Paul's. Number 12. The ecosystem known as savanna, which covers much of sub-Saharan Africa, is made up mainly of what types of plant? Savanna is made up mostly of what? And DR's got it. It is grass. Good job to DR. The savanna is mainly grasslands. Grass. Number 13. Caledonia was the Roman name for which country? There's a little spoiler there. I'm not going to say it. Caledonia. What did the Romans call Caledonia? What do we call it now? And DR knows it is Scotland. Good job to DR. The answer is Scotland. It says country of the United Kingdom. That narrows it down way too much. So yes, it is Scotland. Écosse, says Walker. Number 14. What is the name of the Mexican dish consisting of minced spiced meats in cornmeal dough cooked in a maize husk? What is the Mexican dish? DR's got it. It's tamales. Good job to DR. It's definitely delicious, delicious tamales. Number 5. The extinct human species Neanderthals were named after the Neander Valley, where the first fossils were found. In what country is the Neander Valley? DR already knows it is Germany. Good job to DR. The Neander Valley is in Germany, where the Neanderthals were first discovered, hence the name. Number 16. Tierra del Fuego, the Land of Fire, is a province in which South American country? And DR knows it is Argentina. Good job to DR. The answer is Argentina. I think part of it is Chile, but the province of Tierra del Fuego is part of Argentina. Yeah, it's either one or the other. I would love to visit there. Number 17. The Gobi Desert stretches across northern China and what other Asian country? The Gobi Desert's located in China and Mongolia. Good job to DR for getting it first. The answer is Mongolia. All right, this one has 2 answers, and they are 2 cities. Don't get confused. Don't put the countries that these cities are in. Please put the cities in one line of chat, okay? This is the second to last question. It's not Paris and London. The 8-kilometer Øresund Bridge connects which 2 Scandinavian cities? What 2 cities are connected by the Øresund Bridge? DR's got it, man. It's Copenhagen and Malmö. Good job to DR for getting it. Man, you guys all got it. I'm proud of you guys. You guys all knew it. It is Copenhagen and Malmö. As we say in English, Malmö. Copenhagen and Malmö. All right, this is the last question. So before I go, I'd like to say thank you all for participating. There is a chance that, oh yes, Sarah's in Copenhagen. There is a chance that there may not be trivia next week. So keep an eye on the community tab. I will most likely not be doing trivia next week, but there is a chance. So keep an eye on the community tab. Videos are still happening. I have a video today about Paraguay. If you want to see a city where the border of Paraguay and Brazil splits the city in half the cities in Brazil have some Paraguay. The only thing separating are really cool like flags and statues and art installations. You should check it out. For little videos like that, please click that thumbs up. It would really help. Videos about the United States, Canada, and my video on Algiers did really, really well. Videos about lesser known places, please click that thumbs up on those videos so that they can get more traction on YouTube, because every place deserves all of the love and attention that other major countries get. Next week, if I'm not live, we'll be going to the Amazon for about a week. So look forward to that. We are going into the rainforest. We're going to the heart of the densest jungle in the world for a week to explore the Amazon. So look forward to that on my channel. Be sure to subscribe if you've not done so, and ring the bell. It's complicated, JJ. I'll get into it later. But they'll definitely be the week after there'll be trivia. So I'm sorry, but that's just how it is. I'm sorry. With that out of the way, thank you all again. I love the little hearts. Thank you so much for the little hearts. The last question says, what is the name of the fault line that runs for about 1,200 kilometers through the U.S. state of California? And DR knows it's the San Andreas. Good job to DR for getting it. Pepperoni Tony's here too. Good to see you. It is the San Andreas Fault. So yes, that's going to be it for tonight. Thank you all so much for playing along. This was a fun one. I really like the year trivias. I'm going to keep those up, and I'm not sure how I'm going to do it. I'm going to have channel members pick the years. So join buttons down there if you want to participate in that. I'll probably be like, hey, pick a year from the 17th century or something like that. So we will see in time. So thank you all so much for hanging out with me. I may not see you next week. Keep an eye on the community tab. Otherwise, check out my videos, and I will see you all later. Thank you. Have a great night, you guys. Bye-bye.